Hello, and welcome to another video in our What's New in Moodle 2 series. In this video, I'd like to talk about adding activities and resources such as pages, labels, and assignments to your Moodle 2 courses. One Moodle 2 feature tweak that I think it's important to see is the slight change in the mechanism for adding an activity or resource to your course. If you'll remember, in the old Moodle, you added either resources or activities, but you had to remember which was which. Let me jump quickly back to the older version of this course. Now remember, right now we're looking at the old Moodle 1.9 version of my course. If you're like me, when it was time to add an assignment, web page, or label, you could never remember whether your choice was classified as a resource or as an activity. I often had to peek at both of these menus before I found the choice I wanted. In Moodle 2, however, that functionality has been streamlined into a single choice called Add an Activity or Resource. To demonstrate, let me jump back to the Moodle 2 version of my course and turn editing on. Let's say I simply want to add a small page of content to my class. If you look at each section of your course's homepage, you'll see this new Add an Activity or Resource option. I'm going to click on that in the desired section, and the system will present me with a dialog box listing all of the available activity and resource types. If you select a particular type, you'll see some help text appear in the right-hand pane. At the bottom of that help text, you'll even find a link to the official Moodle 2 documentation on the web with more help and resources. For right now, I'll simply choose Page under the Resource list because I want to add a small bit of content to the course. Then I click Add. Here's the Adding a New Page dialog, which should look fairly familiar. Note that the fields with asterisks are required. So, let me give my page a name and description. When I scroll down, here I can be ready to type or paste content for the page. You'll note that the WYSIWYG or GUI editor has been much improved. In addition, the editor supports more browsers now in Moodle 2, such as Chrome and Safari. I can make all sorts of fancy or tacky content in this page. I can change formatting options, center text, change the color of text, change the size of text, and do all sorts of editing. Once I'm ready to add the page, I'll scroll down to the options. Notice that I can choose just to display the page name or the description along with the page content. I can also make the page invisible until I'm ready to make it available to students. Now that's just like the old Moodle system. If I keep scrolling down, however, you'll see a new set of options. I'm not going to talk about them in detail here, but suffice it to say that they may be enticing to you depending on how you organize your course Moodle sites. Note that I could restrict access to this resource to a particular date range. Or, if I use the Moodle gradebook, I can restrict access by a grading condition on an activity. I can also choose whether or not a student sees a grayed out link to this resource if they have not yet met the conditions for access. We can dive into that new feature at a later time. For now, let me save and display this new web page. There it is. Here's my page name and my page description, since I indicated that I wanted to include them, and below is my page content. I can use the breadcrumbs to return to the main course page. There's the link to the demo page I just created. One other neat tool is a new in-place editing feature. You may recognize the hand holding the pencil from the older version of Moodle. If I click that icon, I can go back to my actual page and edit its content. However, you will notice a new standalone pencil icon. If I click that, I can actually edit the title of this page in place. Note, if I hit the Escape key, my edits will be discarded, but if I hit the Enter key, my page is now retitled. I can repeat this content creation process for a label, which is Moodle's term for text that simply appears on my main course page. Let me add an activity or resource, choose Label, type the contents of my label, scroll down quickly to save and return to my course page, and there it is. Just as in the old version of Moodle, you can indent this label to varying degrees by using the left and right arrows. You can also use the drag and drop icon to drag and drop your label to a new location in your document. Let me show you another feature of the GUI editor. If I go back to my label to edit it, let's say I wanted to turn it into a longer list of items, you can see the rightmost icon here is the toggle full screen mode icon. If I click that, now I have a full screen GUI editor. Let me untoggle full screen mode, save and return to course, and there's my modified label. You may also notice this new ×2 icon. This icon allows you to quickly duplicate a piece of course content. Once you confirm that you want to duplicate the content, you can actually go in and edit the content for the duplicated item. Let me make a small edit here. Scroll down to save and return to course, and you'll notice that the duplicated item has been placed immediately below the original version. Finally, this add an activity or resource choice is what you use to create a new assignment in your course. An assignment is a place where students can upload files to be graded or commented on. So let me create an assignment here. I'll call this demo assignment. Do the work we talked about in class. I can set my submission options to restrict submission to a particular date. I can prevent late submissions or allow them. Now I can also indicate whether or not I want to be notified for every submission and or whether I want to be notified only for late submissions. If I select no to every submission, then I can say yes, do notify me as the instructor about late submissions. Students have always been able to upload files as assignment submissions, but now you can indicate that they're allowed to upload more than one file. So instead of having to zip up 3 or 4 files in a package, you could simply say, I'm expecting 3 files for this assignment. You can define how many points the assignment is worth, and you can also once again restrict access to the assignment based on prior criteria. Let me save and display that assignment. There it is. Once students start making submissions, I can view and grade all submissions just as I did in the previous version of Moodle. Well, that's a quick tour of the changes in Moodle 2 related to creating and editing activities and resources. Look for more tips in our other videos. Thanks for your time, and happy Moodling!